Hi friends, welcome to another episode of Get Ready With Me. So this morning you'll be following me along on my journey as I prepare my makeup to go to work. As I said to you in a previous video, I hadn't really been expecting to use a lot of the new releases in the way of the new colour stories that have come out at the moment for the change in season. I felt some of those colours were a little bit not my thing. They were very light and pastel-y. So I'm just going to be using a range of products that I have in my collection as it is, and some of my favourites. Today I'm just going to be wearing a knitted vest, black with dark brown pants. So I'm just going to stick to some really soft neutral colours. I have applied my skincare and I've applied my brows. I have also just applied my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk primer. This one here, which is my trusted favourite. Always use that product with just about every foundation that I have. Next, I'm going to go in with my Merit foundation. So I haven't really I've done one demonstration with this, and apart from that, I haven't really had a chance to use this product. I really liked it the first time I used it. I think it had really great wear from memory. And look, it's very hot weather here at the moment, so I guess I had to try to think of normally this probably wouldn't be my first choice for a really hot day makeup, but I really wanted to give it another very conscious test wear and see how it's faring by the end of the day. I think from memory, last time it went really quite well. I still do have a slightly oily skin in areas. And this has got a beautiful serum-y. It's a beautiful serum-y texture to it. And I have also previously used the applicator that the foundation comes through, which is, you can see the brush here. I do use both. I use that, plus I am just using my foundation blending brush as well. Probably don't have a bigger luxury of time today. I need to wriggle on and get myself ready. So if you're in Victoria, I hope you're surviving well through this heat that we've had. It's been like a heat wave, they've described it as. Had some very hot days and continual hot days. We've had fires. And then, of course, acknowledging those in the northern part of Australia that are now going through the floods. Oh, that's my cat. She's coughing. Misha May. Misha May. I think I'm happy with this application. making sure that's nicely blended. Come back with my, this is the BK Beauty 101. Just to make sure I've got all those some little brush marks and make sure the foundation's melting. It's a really lovely foundation. It does melt beautifully onto the skin. Okay, next we're going to go in with my Dior contouring stick. I always have to double check because one's the bronzer and one's a contour, so I just need to double check that. And this is my contouring stick. So as I've said to you before, we just want to come along just under the cheekbone area, a little bit on either side of the temple, corner of the eye. We're wanting to create this upward lift effect, coming in with the BK Beauty 106, I think that is, and we're just going to push that in along under the cheekbone, push that in and moving it up. Circular motions to blend the product out, pushing it into the hairline, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to create structure to our face. So because my videos are with a focus really on also products that are accessible in Australia, but also for a mature skin. So I'm in my late 50s, so anything that I can do to try to create a really luminous, youthful skin and makeup is what I'll be presenting to you, and little tips on just how to create an uplifted appearance with our skin. So sorry, you'll need to just bear with me, but it's very hard to see directly in the monitor, so I'm using my hand mirror at the same time to try and make sure I've blended everything properly. So just a little bit down the sides of the nose, jawline, and around the jaw. Again, it's just above the jawbone, so we can create that structured, chiseled look. We want to create the illusion of a shadow just underneath the jawbone. So once we've got the contour in place, just push that into the skin, but then blend it down just under the jawbone, so it just creates that shadow. And I would come back in and do just these little areas here where there's the little jowls, just to try to shadow them out a little bit. I'm then going to come back with my bronzing stick just apply some of the bronzer in the areas that the sun would naturally hit. I don't want to be too heavy-handed, so just a small amount of this product. And these Dior sticks are really like butter. They just glide onto the skin and they blend so well. And just pushing the product just into the hairline. It's really important when we're applying makeup just to make sure everything's really blended. If you can, you don't have to use any of these products that I'm using. These are just what I prefer, what I've come to settle on after a lifetime of initially being in the beauty industry, but then always a lover of everything in the way of beauty. And these are products that I've just, at the moment I've settled on as being some of my favourites. But don't feel you have to have any of these products. If you've got a collection at home, you can still achieve the same looks that I will be showing you with other brands, other products. Okay, so next I want to move into concealer, and I'm going to come with my Chanel Sublimage, and this is very generous product, so I need a tiny amount, and I'm just going to take this and just dot it to start with around the eye area. Really don't need very much at all. This is a corrector, it's a concealer. It will also add some brightness into that eye area, which is great if you've got the darker light and darker areas under the eye like I do. Just going to let that sit for a second. I'll tidy up here, make some more space. And then I'm going to come in with my concealing brush. I just need to find. And push that right into the corner of the eye. It's very, this is, the feel of this is very, almost serum-y like. It's very soft. It's very easy to move around the eye area. Just bring that right up under the lash. But bringing it in an upward motion as well. We don't want anything to be coming down. Also, I feel quite safe using this in the really delicate area under the bottom line of lashes, in the area that we have the little fine lines, because it doesn't really settle into those fine lines. It never does that. It just seems to act as a really great concealer all day. I also use my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, which I come back into any areas that are a little bit textured, like just over these areas here on my cheeks. Again, I applied directly to that area. I will blend the edges of the concealer in. And then just come back with very light sweeping movement to thoroughly blend that in. Once I've finished with my shadow, I will come back with more concealer to that area. Sorry, not to this area, to under the eye area, just to tidy up if there's any shadow, but also just to even out the tone. I'll come back in with my Armani concealer to do that. Also, next product is my Fenty shadow base. You don't have to use a shadow base. If you don't have one, I wouldn't. I never really used to use one, but I thought I would try. It seemed to be a fairly popular approach to applying eye makeup, so I thought I would give it a try. I think they're great, but I think also your concealer is possibly going to do a very similar job. It may not be quite as sticky as an eyeshadow base. So just blending that all over the lid, all the way up to the brow, so that we're ready for eye makeup application. The shadows that I've chosen to use today are from the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. And I'm not quite sure, I'm not going to truly predict which shadows I'm going to use. I think I'm just going to wing it along the way to try to create my look. As I said, it's going to be another quite a warm day. I don't want too much makeup, but me being me, I like makeup. I like eye makeup in particular. I'm just going to start with a really soft nude, peachy nude colour over my eyelid, and then just gently brush that up onto the bone, up onto that orbital bone. So just so you can get an idea, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with this palette, but I'm just sort of starting here, and I'll go into some deeper tones and then just gradually smoke it out a little bit with some of the deeper. So anything that you've got at home in the way of these really soft neutral, but I need to go for items that are more warm leaning because of my skin tone. When I start to get into the cooler browns or the cooler neutrals, can make my eyes look very, very tired. If you're wondering why you're not getting the result from your makeup, that if you're feeling that it's making your eyes look really quite tired or raw, or just something's just not quite right, it could possibly be that the tones are not correct for you. So just be really aware of what your undertone is and whether you need to go cool or warm. Okay, so we're just blending over the lid, up onto the bone, and just sort of blending up towards the brow area. And then going to come in with a slightly deeper colour from the very outer corner of the eye into that orbital bone and create into the crease, creating a little bit of depth, a little bit of structure. Always envisaging that we're bringing the eye up this way. Always keep that in the forefront of your mind when you're creating a look. You can follow the rules as much as you want to, but unless you actually stand back and have a look and think, okay, is what I'm doing creating the look that I want to? then, you know, really the rules go out the window. And besides that, if you're following other people that are applying makeup, everyone's face, eye area is different. You're not going to achieve the exact same look with your own eye. So always just stand back and think, okay, I can see here I'm not creating enough in the crease. So I'm coming back and I'm just going to take a little bit of this mid shade up higher onto this crease, because each eye is different. Each eye has a different, slightly different appearance. So you can use makeup to correct that. So my cat, she's having a lovely sleep in while Mummy's getting ready for work. She's snoring away on the bed next to me. So there you can see we've got two neutral, natural colours so far. Then going to come back in with still quite a small but loosely packed tapered brush and come into a slightly deeper colour again, still sticking with those same group of colours, and I'm just going to contour into the crease line and more deliberately right to the very outer corner of the eye. So again, still using generally all the same colour, shadows, just in increments of depth. We will come back in a minute with one of the lighter colours and come in underneath the eye. Can you see how this is starting to really create that depth along the crease bone, along the orbital bone in here? I should say too, these are relatively matte. There's no reflect in these shadows that I've chosen. This palette, and Natasha Denona is renowned for having shadows with a lot of reflect. She has them as individual palettes though, which is good. So you can just choose really matte tones and then come back in over the top with the topper if you wanted to bring out a bit of glow. I'm going to come in with a deeper colour again, just on this really outer edge and then into the crease, just to step up that structure. Follow that crease in and around, again depending on your eye shape. So we've got this nice variation of tones from really soft transitional to slightly deeper, and then a real definition with this darker colour here. If you wanted to leave it as a much more less well, it's not really dramatic, but if you wanted even a less look than this, you could leave this particular colour out and just leave it with the other really natural browns. And then I'm going to come back in with a really tightly packed, I think it says 207 BK Beauty brush. I'm going to come back in with one of the mid-range browns and just follow that underneath the lower lash line. Then come in with the really deep brown and just to the very outer edge of the eye. And that will just create a little bit of a smoked out look. I'm doing this in preference to using a kohl pencil, and just blend that in all the way along. So when we apply underneath the eye, make sure we bring it so that it's meeting this work that you've done on the top area of the eye. So you're bringing it up and out to meet this area here. And then with a fluffier brush, I'm just going to come back and blend all of those edges. I've still been on the hunt for a really good liquid liner. I thought I had found a solution. I don't know that I have. So I've reverted back to my old L'Oreal, this product that I don't make anymore. As I've said to you in the past, when you're using really anything on the top of your eyes, but particularly a liquid, tilt your head right back. So you've got a nice flat surface to work on. Start with wispy strokes to the outer corner of the eye and just bring that in, tapering in as we go. And to get right down into the corner of the eye, depending, I find one eye easier to do than the other. But you can basically just rest this felt tip on the lashes, just let it rest on the lashes, and then move the product down. Yeah, it's really important when you're using eye products not to try to look straight into your mirror, and you're going to end up with product everywhere. And this outer corner here, just create a tiny little flick. That's adding a little bit more definition to this outer area of the eye. I'm also going to tightline underneath my top row of lashes, and the Victorian Beckham pencil is in black is what I'm going to use. This is a very intense, you get a lot of payoff with this kohl pencil. To tightline, just pop the lead into the rim of the eye, and we're pushing up onto that inner waterline. And the reason we do this is only if your eyes allow for it. If you've got really small eyes, don't do this, because it's going to create an illusion of a smaller eye. If you've got really quite large eyes, you'll get away with it. But what this does, it creates more depth, makes the lash line look much fuller, which is what I'm trying to achieve. Next, I use my Dior lash primer. Again, this is a new concept to me, probably 12 months ago. I like it. I think if you don't have one, don't worry too much about it. Perhaps if you've got really very, not very many lashes at all, or very fine short lashes, and you really want to have a go at building up, highly recommend it. But again, it's one of those items that I'm saying you don't have to have in your makeup collection. The Dior, forgotten the name of it again, I should know, mascara. So a nice application on the top lash. And concentrating a little bit more on the outer lower, on the lashes to the outer edge of the eye, to create this upward motion. Coat on the top. And then a nice lift. And again, you see, if you're looking down into your mirror, you're not going to end up with mascara all around the top. If you happen to be looking, I'll try to do it without getting mascara everywhere, but if you're looking straight into your mirror like this and you're trying to apply, you will end up with product up above. So let's just tilt the head right back and look down. I don't use a lash curler. I see a lot of people do. I haven't ever really tried. I've never used a lash curler. Maybe it's just I haven't had the need to, but if you do, then you would have gone in before your mascara. Come back with a little bit of mascara on the bottom lash line. I'm then just going to double check this area under my eye. As I said earlier, I was going to come back in with my Armani concealer. Come on, kitty. Where are you? Just come back in again with my Armani concealer. Come on, come to the other door. Another one of my little babies wanting to come in. They've already been and had breakfast, but they play this game and they like me to go to every single door to let them in, even though they've got their own private access. So just coming back with my concealer, can you see that it's just evened out that tone? I'm seeing a little bit of shine in the monitor here, but in my hand mirror I'm not seeing that. So I'm just hoping it is the lights that are doing that, and that when I upload this video, perhaps it's not seeing as much. As much shine. Something else I wanted to include is my Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat, which is, it's a highlighting pen. It is great for darkness. It's not a concealer, but for any of those areas where we've got darkness, I like this as well to put in these areas here as we age and these creases start to become more pronounced. If you've watched some of my other videos and I talk to you about lightness and darkness, wherever you add light, it's going to bring forward. So therefore it's going to decrease the effect of that deepness and where the folds are slowly starting to form. So I'm using this in the corner of my eye, just where there's a little bit of darkness underneath my eye. In this area here, just around the nose, corner of the mouth outwards. And we're blending this. You won't see this, but you will see the effects of it. So right in the corner here, into these areas where there's darkness. And you can just use what's left on your concealing brush just to tidy up anything around the eye area. Just really little wispy strokes around the eye area. I'm then going to come in with I haven't powdered yet, as you would notice. Actually, before I do that, we always need to use all our wet products together. Something I did forget to put on was my Dior Forever Glow, which is okay actually, because I think with this foundation I've probably got enough glowiness, but this is something that I would normally use as well to really give the skin that inner glowing effect. I've overlooked that one this morning. So before we go in with powder, I want to add a little bit more bronze. I'm using my Chanel cream. It's a cream to powder bronze. It's very, very subtle. This is medium bronze, I think it's called. I wouldn't say that it's really obvious, so it's great for beginners because you can really build this up. You're not going to end up with an awful lot of product once you first apply. So again, anywhere where the sun would naturally hit. I've always thought of bronzer as being that final product to sort of tie the whole look together. And I think if you try it, you'll see what I mean. You'll see that once you've got your final bronzer on, it just sort of brings everything together, makes everything look gelled, and it was purposely or intentionally applied, but it brings us back to this sort of natural but better look on our skin. I'm going to now come in under the eyes. I'm going to use the Givenchy Le Prisme powder. Take off any of the excess powder onto my hand. And I'm just going to press this in under the eye area here. It is very whitening. Hello, Tink. Hello, baby. So we're just going to press that. And you'll see how blurring that is. The colour that I'm using, I'm sure that it's 2 or 3. It is brightening, but it's got a combination of mauve, green and browns, so that correcting, the green's going to correct any red, the mauve will correct any sallowness. This won't move. I'm just going to do a tiny bit between my brows. I know that I get quite shiny there. And then I'm going to come in with my Chanel loose powder. And I am going to press into the areas that I know I'm going to get shiny. You can use a brush, you can do this either way. I think by pressing, it's going to give me by pressing the powder first, it's going to really give me that effect that I want, which is to stop any of the shine. If I was just to use a very big loose powder, it would just give a nice finishing touch. Still use the same, it still does the same purpose. And because it is going to be such a warm day again, I do want some powder that's not going to move. All that I'd say is, when we're using powders, just, I mean, they're doing the job that we want them to do, which is to blot away any of the shine, but sometimes too it can take away any of the luminosity that we're trying to create. So just be aware of that. If you're looking a little bit too matte and a little bit too dull, you can bring that up with some highlighter. So next I'm going to go in with my Dior blush, which I'm not sure of the colour of this one, but as usual I will leave all the colours for you in the description box. So blush, I'm starting from the outer corner and just working across the top of my cheekbone, so up into the temple and down. Starting here, and again I'm doing this to draw the face upward. If we were to start down here on the apple of our cheeks, which a lot of the young girls would be applying there on a more mature skin, that's not going to have the flattering effect of trying to draw this area upwards. So this is a beautiful brown. It's almost a cinnamon, well, it's deeper than a cinnamon, but it has got a little bit of like a rose gold reflect in it. It's a really pretty blush. As you know, I'm not a huge, I don't like to have too much blush. I think in my opinion, it takes away from the natural look of what we're trying to achieve in the way of the rest of our facial structure if we've got all this blush splattered. Over the top of that, I'm going to use my Sicily. blind you, my Sicily blush, which is the coral, and it's a multitude of different colours, and it's also a highlighter. So just across the very top of that blush. And you can see too that because I've really powdered down my makeup, hopefully you can see too, I'm starting to bring some of the luminosity back with the finishing products that I'm using. This is a really pretty product. It has, yeah, it's a really pretty coral. I think I'll leave it at that. Okay. So I will apply another coat of mascara off camera. The lipstick I've chosen today is one of the Dior matte lipsticks in colour 100. Which is going to be beautiful with these eye makeup that I've chosen, and also just the black knit that I'm wearing. So I'm coming in with an Anastasia of Beverly Hills lip pencil in, it's quite a dark brown, I don't know the colour, I will leave that in the description box. But I wanted a dark lip pencil against this lipstick. And again, one side of my lip is not as full as the other, so I'm going to draw that in. So we've got a nice deep lip pencil, and we're coming back. With our Dior number 100. These lipsticks are beautiful. They're creamy. They're not a dry matte. Yeah, they have a beautiful texture. They wear really well. Just to give this a little bit of a shine, I'm going to come in with my Armani. What are they? They're a gloss. The Glacé gloss. I'm not quite sure what they're called. I'll leave the name of the product below. And just in the very centre, this is a slightly deeper. You could go all the way over if you wanted to. Just to give a little bit of shine to the finishing touches. Tiny bit of gloss. I think I'm almost there. So to finish off, I'll take these rollers out, which are really just to, I've got super fine hair. So just anything to give a little bit more bounce, volume. So what I did was rolled my hair up with these rollers, which They've got like a ceramic scent, not, well, they're not really ceramic, but I guess they're like a ceramic coating which heats up. Rolled up with that, added a tiny bit of a buildable hairspray, heated them up again, just to give a little bit of curl and a little bit of bounce. And probably off camera, I may just do a little bit of a back comb in certain areas just to make sure I get a little bit extra bounce and hold for the day. And apart from that, I think I'm ready to go and get changed. And this is my Wednesday office look on another very hot day. So thank you everybody for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I really hope you get the opportunity to join me again soon. Thank you.